going to call here. I think it's a good spot to call because this guy's opened UTG. And so he could have a good hand. So if we hit a 3, have a good chance to get paid. But it's a pretty bad board. It's pretty good for the... well, it's pretty good for the blind ranges though, but he went ahead and bet, took it down. The opener, that is. And just going to open a little bit exploitively in the Sunday Million. Got a hand that I don't mind calling a 3-bet with, as if it's not too big. And so I don't want to raise too large, 3x. I will mix that up, but in general, early in the Sunday Million, I like to raise closer to 2.5 or a min with hands that I want to call 3-bets with, and full 3x for value with stronger hands. And that is obviously what we call exploitative play in all its glory, because it would be relatively easy, obviously, for someone to adjust to that. But I don't think it's a concern because there's just not enough of the same players that we're up against in the same situation that are going to take advantage of it. I'm just going to go ahead and fire here. Blind on blind is when players can really spew. But this is busted, so I think actually this guy's pretty good. He can have, I guess, King 9, 10 Jack some of the time, I guess. He could have 9, 10, Jack 9, hands like that. We can get value from some of them. But I think checking is probably best. I think it's a little bit hard to get. A little bit hard to get 3 streets here. We should have the best hand. I don't think he's ever going to... I don't think he's ever going to have Ace-Jack, because he probably would have either 3-bet pre or just not have called flop. 36, I think I'm just going to... Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm just going to shove there. And I think we're just going to just make a small raise here with the 6s. I did think about limping if I think the big blind is really aggressive. I sometimes might limp it. I think we tangled with this guy before, didn't we? I think I'm just going to limp with the aces. I think this guy just spazzes and jams when we limp a lot. And I think I'm just going to check now. And just try to get value somehow. I think he would have bet with an 8. He's probably got absolutely nothing. Yeah, maybe I could have checked again there actually, because I think he's betting a king and 8 and maybe even a deuce on the flop. I think I will bet small here. Just got to keep our eyes open here. It's usually with a lot of tables going to get a little bit lazy. Miss spots that are quite good, such as this opening spot here. Probably not quite, but important to always be on the lookout. Scanning around for the stack sizes and so forth. This is a pretty good one. And I think, just trying to think how we want to do this. I think, well, I think we want to just bet, and we can apply, what we can do here actually is we can bet 999. It's very important we bet under half this player's stack. Let's see if this comes into play now. Now if this player jams, we do now have the option, because of our bet sizing, to, we would have the option to stuff it in if we wanted to. Well, I'm just going to call there. It's pretty unorthodox. This is such a bad card, this king. I think I'm going to check. I guess he might have a jack a lot of the time, so I'm just going to bet an amount where we can expect to get called by a jack. He could have had ace 10 or ace queen, probably with 3 bet spree with ace queen, but well, this guy seems pretty aggressive. I'm going to fold the bottom right. That guy's been really tight. It's very tight, just flat with the ace queen there. But I think it was. I think this guy's just being a fish here with like ace 5 suited, just 3-betting, squeezing. But king jack off is just not very pretty, just not pretty enough, really. We'll raise that. Got a few 6 maxes kind of going, but I have decided a $16.50 one as well, just because I had a quick scan at the player pool and excuse me, it looks very soft. It's just too small for most regs to be involved in. A little bit on the thin side, the UTG open with a 10 jack. I would think from a GTO point of view, if you're talking about opening ranges, it would be right on the cusp at this particular stack size. And with the stack sizes that we have around us. I chose to open just because I think that these guys are going to make more mistakes. And it'd be good to get a high card on the turn here if we get called. And hopefully he doesn't do that, but he did. And that is just stuffed it in. Stuff the turkey. Seven, 8, 9. I think we can probably I think we can probably look to check call top left and potentially represent some, I was going to say some hearts if they come. A little bit tricky. I think I'm going to go ahead and bet here. Our hand does need a lot of protection. And I think some worse hands will call like ace 10, 10 king. King Queen might even call. We could be behind if someone has, you know, like obviously a bigger jack, but once they check flop, we do have, if they call, I don't think they're going to raise with those hands if they have a big jack, so we do have outs if they just call, since we had the up and down as well. And if it comes a heart on the river, it's kind of interesting. Because we could always consider smashing it and trying to fold out a bigger jack if they called turn. But it's a bit of a risky play and maybe not necessary, because we don't really know who we're dealing with. They could be ginormous fish that aren't going to fold top pair ever. And yeah, they're ones we like. We like them when they're like that. I think I will 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think it's better just to bet small here. This King 8 is pretty close, so I think I'm going to fold it. Pocket 4s, 31. I think we can call here actually. Just take the go set mining. Use the implied odds. And 7, 8 is kind of close. I think I will raise it. It's a bit marginal. I mean, there's a couple of players behind that are a little bit aggressive. I think we get 3-bet a little bit. I'd probably rather have a blocker. You know, we're not that deep that the implied odds of playing a speculative hand like that are terrific. But it is hand for hand mode, so I think something I should have just focused more on is the fact that it's hand for hand mode, so we want to put these guys under a bit of pressure. It's kind of interesting one here. I think I will 3-bet here, and even though it's hand for hand mode, I don't know if I'm going to be folding here, to be honest, if he calls. Let's have a look. Well, it is $100, I guess. No, it's not. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? So top 30 was paid, so yeah, I mean, never mind me, guys. Hand for hand mode. I didn't realize it was so deep. It's actually the final table bubble. So that's why it's hand for hand mode, obviously. And the pocket 7s, yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to call that one. It's not great for ICM. But at the same time, I mean, pocket 7s, 5-handed. If we're folding and 3-bet folding against a player who's very loose, I mean, we're just relying too much on the cards, and we're just going to be at the mercy of them, their aggressive tendencies to just crush us. I think he's actually got a queen a lot here. I think he actually does have a queen quite a bit there. He could have a raggy ace, but I don't think he's gonna. Well, I mean, he would bet it, I guess, but well, actually, I don't know if he would. Everything gets there. We don't actually beat anything at all, do we? Unless he's called the flop with like King 9. I guess I will call here. It's kind of risky, but this is obviously a pretty good card. I think we can check raise. I mean, ace 10 running into ace 10 is possible. As you know, ace 10 of hearts, I guess, is probably a big possibility. But I just think Now the SPR's 2, and we've got a couple of guys that are probably donkeys. I just don't really see us folding here. Wow. Okay, he's called the big flop bet. I don't think we can fold here, and I hate getting the stack depth in the Sunday Million this early, but I mean, these guys could have King Jack and Jack Queen, and even have slow played sets, and occasionally have a monster draw, but I mean, this guy could call with a gut shot on the flop. I mean, it's possible, especially if it was a flush, if he had a flush draw with it. But the pot's monstrous. We have the second nuts, and these guys could just be massive fish, so I'm just going to get it in. And I mean, I don't expect King Queen to fold if that guy's got King Queen or even King Jack, the way that most Sunday Million players play. I don't have notes on him. The first time I played with him, so he could just be a massive spew monkey, but time will tell. He did call with a gut shot, and he got us, so that's, you know, it was dangerous on the flop, I think. The call, obviously, I mean, obviously now we see that hand, we only had the 8 as a clean out, and that's kind of scary. But this guy did bet really hard on the flop, which kind of made me want to call, because I thought it was less likely that anyone would have a gut shot, but also a good chance that he had a very strong hand that he wasn't going to give up, like trips or 2 pairs, stuff like that if we hit. And once he called 2, I mean, he looked pretty strong as well. So the king is kind of a good card for us, I would have thought, because I would think a lot of the time it gives them 2 pairs and that sort of thing, and they're going to stack off. But as it was, they did actually have the gut shot, and it was us that stacked off. So the other problem is, of course, there's the 2 hearts, you know, so our outs aren't clean, which is obviously pretty risky as well. I think I'm going to raise again here just because of this guy's raising so much. And we get good leverage with our stack size. Yeah, so that's really unfortunate the way that millions fizzled there very quickly. And I was saying we want to be careful early stage and not not blow a stack. And once he raises turn, I mean, he does look a bit nutty. I guess we can always flat, but I mean, I'm just so many bad river cards with flushes there and stuff that I just yeah, I think I'm always this. Oh, this steel focus is tilting me more than busting before. Might make a tight fold there, actually. I was just thinking here, I guess what I'm going to see bet, we got the bottom pair of the backdoor diamonds. And he does just play nicely and fold, which is good. This guy's bring this in, this is going to be funny. This guy wrote Japan, come on, you're dead. Actually, he wrote Japan, you're died. So he obviously has a queen. I think he obviously has a queen. And the turn is an ace, so now we've got 2 aces. I think a better line here is actually just to call. And jam river. It's better than just jamming turn, I think, because you might think we've spazzed out somehow. This interesting sizing this guy's gone with here. Very small sizing. He's got the ace as well, okay. I don't know why he tanked it. Just thinking what we want to do here. Very small sizing. He's very aggressive, this guy. I'm not sure if he just wants to take the initiative. We have been opening a lot of buttons. I might take it up a level. Maybe not that big. It's a little bit risky because he's raised kind of small, but you got to be kind of careful. He's snap folded, obviously, but you got to be kind of careful reading too much into the bet sizing. I think when it comes to sizings like that, because a lot of these guys don't play like you and I would play. Well, you know, I don't know how you guys listening play, but if you're watching these videos, you've probably got a lot of tendencies now that you've adopted from what you've seen here. And so, that being the case, I'm guessing that the majority of people don't really use a mini raise strategy like that. And I mean, there's some merit to it. I've used it from time to time, just trying to sorry guys, just got a lot of hands going on. Sometimes just trying to take the initiative. But it's fairly risky on a final table bubble, adopting that strategy. Might actually check back here. I think there's a lot of turns that we can call. If it's any low card, an ace or a 7, a jack or a 9, obviously we're going to call now. He defends, I think, fairly wide against the button still, but at the same time, yeah, call steal 16. So I mean, actually, no, that's pretty tight. I tell a lie there. It's pretty tight. It does suit his range relatively well. The flop. He might jam here. I think he might jam because well, I mean, we could have checked back trips though, so it's pretty dangerous for him. I think he might actually put us on. Yeah, it looks like he's. I mean, I like his bet sizing. Wow, he's 10. This guy raises a lot. I think I'm going to fold because he's early, but it's pretty close. I guess we can't quite fold here. I think his bet's good because we probably have to look him up if we have a 9 or any low pair or even an 8 if we for some reason check that back. It does fold out if we have ace jack or if we missed a flush. You know, we might have just given up with 5, 6 of clubs and then somehow turned a good card for our hand. I don't think getting these pot odds we can quite fold, but I do think he's going to have 3 high, 2, 3 a lot. He might have thought that was a bit of a slow roll there, but I was just trying to explain, some of my thinking there. Pure Cash, he's actually a run at once coach. So he might be recording right now and talk about how this player Acesup slow rolled him. But no, I just wanted to try and explain, what I was thinking there. I mean, obviously our hand in a heads-up clash against a big blind who's, I wouldn't say he's got a wide range, but I mean, wow. Bottom right here is this guy. I think our hand's too strong to fold. I am hoping he's just doing what I have told him about before, what I've told you about before, where sometimes they raise smaller to look extra strong. And he kind of was doing that, really, wasn't he? I mean, he had a strong hand for against a cut-off steal, but what I mean is like if he just shoved, that's normally going to be a wide range. But if he just 3-bets, well, we know he's not folding to a jam, so he might be actually doing it with a very strong hand, and just looking like he's trying to get action, which a lot of players use to actually, as we've discussed previously, with a medium strength hand to try and get fold equity. I think I'm just going to raise here. I think this guy's bet is so small. I don't know if he would bet that small with any hand other than a set of 2s or 9s. And he's pretty loose. So most of the time he's just giving up with ace 5, pocket 3s, 6, 7, king 8, stuff like that. It's a little bit risky if he tries something, but the thing is that there's a lot of bad turn cards. Our hand needs a lot of protection. Any jack, any queen, any king, any ace, any 8 is potentially bad for our hand. And I just don't think he's going to make that sizing with a hand like kings or anything like that, because I think he'd want to, charge us a little more. So it looked like he was just sort of doing a one and done. I'm just going to bet small, doesn't have to work very often. Hopefully this guy just folds. And so I just want to take advantage of that rather than just call and just play out of position with a hand that can very easily get into trouble. And we could get barreled off. I mean, if the turn's a king and we check and he bets, and then the river's, an 8 and we check and he fires big again, it's kind of getting pretty hard to call down, and we could be losing a big pot. The danger is if we check raise the flop and then he slaps us with a re-raise, now we have a real problem. But I think it's better to just do that, and then if that happens, just take it from there, and try and assess as best you can from that point. And on that note, we are 4 of 12. So I'm just going to take this break, guys, and be right back with more action.